What up, y'all? We had some technical difficulties. 10 minutes of this podcast got cut out, so I'm here to tell the story of what got cut out. My trip from Punta Cana back to Minneapolis during this whole Microsoft shutdown stuff was crazy, to say the least. And I'm going to tell you guys all the details right here, right now, because this was the craziest experience in my life, and I'm sure other people went through something similar, but this was absolutely wild. So Thursday, I was supposed to leave on Thursday. We left on Thursday around 5:55 p.m., I believe was our normal takeoff time. We get on the plane in Punta Cana to head to Charlotte, and then I was going to go Charlotte to Minneapolis that night. We get on the plane, get in the air for about 30 minutes. It was really shaky. Then they say, oh, we have to, the wheels won't go back up. The landing wheels got stuck in the down position. So we got to turn the plane around. So eventually they turn the plane around. We land after about 2 hours of in the air. And when we land, they say, hey, we can't get you guys on any more flights tonight, so we're going to get you a hotel in Punta Cana. Which I was like, all right, whatever. At least I'm safe. Like, we didn't have to risk nothing crazy, risk our lives or nothing. So our new flight plan is the next day at 1:55 p.m. So they pick us up from the airport, or not the airport, from the resort in Punta Cana at 10 a.m. to bring us to the airport. We get there around 11 because it's like an hour drive with the big bus and stuff, with traffic going through the Dominican. So we go through security, TSA, all that stuff. We get in the airport. We're about ready to go by like 11:45 noon. Our flight leaves at 1:55, so we got time. Every 30 minutes, we kept getting updates. Oh, your flight has been delayed. Your flight has been delayed. Flight has been delayed. And there's also 2 other flights leaving to Charlotte that were only delayed like 50 minutes, an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Like, they were not delayed very much. But they kept pushing back our flight that was supposed to take all the people that were supposed to leave yesterday. They just kept pushing it back. And we also had the same flight number as them. So it was very, very confusing being like someone in the airport with no one's really answering questions very well. The workers didn't speak the best English. It was difficult, to say the least. It was very difficult. So we're waiting in the airport, and it keeps getting pushed back, until our most recent delay says like leave at like 9:30 p.m. Like we've been there since 11 a.m. and now they're saying we're not going to leave till 9:30, and it's just like, Jesus, to Charlotte. But then they make another delay where they push it and says that we are now going to Miami before Charlotte. And I'm like, why are we going to Miami before Charlotte now? Charlotte's customs closes at 10 p.m. So we couldn't go to customs through Charlotte because it closed past 10, but Miami's open 24/7. So they divert our plane to go to Miami and then to Charlotte. And this new plan is 10:50 p.m. Take off at 10:50 p.m. and land in Miami at 2:20 a.m. And we've been in the airport since 11 a.m. So we're literally just about 12 hours in the airport before we actually leave. Once we leave, we get to Miami, land in Miami, go through customs. I was like, finally, we just got one more. Now we just need to get back on this plane and go to Charlotte. It was supposed to be like a 2-hour layover thing. Nothing crazy. We go and sit by our gate. It says like 4:30 a.m. Like, all right, we got 2 hours. Keep delaying it. We don't leave until like 6:37 a.m., maybe even later, I think, because so eventually it got to about 5:45, 6 o'clock a.m., maybe even 6:30. They said, oh, we're going to move you guys to a new gate. I'm like, okay, well, at least the new gate should have a plane there when we pull up. So everyone packs up their stuff. They push us to a new gate that's on the other side of the airport. We all go across the whole airport, the whole dang airport, get there, and there's a plane at the gate. I'm like, thank God, whatever. During this whole time, I didn't really have to go through it because we were good, but some of the people that got off our plane that landed in Miami that was supposed to, go to Charlotte because of all this stuff, they didn't even get confirmed on this Miami to Charlotte flight because American Airlines accidentally made our flight plan public to everybody to be able to book online or book in the airport with new flight plans or whatever it was. Super crazy. I'm like, dang, so there's people like buying this ticket or like, oh, can I hop on this flight because it's earlier, and people that were on my flight that were supposed to be home yesterday were not even on the flight. Like, they didn't get on the flight, and there's nothing they could do. They're just on standby. So people are, sitting there crying. They're missing shit. Someone said they missed a wedding because of all this stuff. They're not going to get home until Sunday night now, and the wedding was, they're supposed to be home Thursday night, so they're planning on being there Friday. Like, it was crazy. People are, losing their minds. People are screaming at workers, and it's like, that's not going to help anything. People that are sitting there working have no control over any of this, but people are freaking out. Eventually, we finally take off to go to Miami, or to go to Charlotte from Miami. We land in Charlotte, finally get our bags, and it's like 11 a.m. So it's been 24 hours traveling straight from being in the airport, going through security, through all the delays, everything. Sorry if you can hear any background noise too. The store is open. But we finally get to Charlotte, and our flight from Charlotte doesn't leave until 9:30 p.m. So we literally are in the air. We had to decide to go get a hotel because we're like, we haven't slept in 24 hours. We've been up straight 24 hours. We have another 12 hours to go. We need to get some rest. We can't sit in this airport for 12 hours. So we leave and go get a hotel, sleep for like 5 hours, come back. No delay. There's no delays anymore from our flight to Minneapolis, which I was super happy. I was like, I just want to get home. We get on that plane. Now there's a backup on the runway. We were on that plane for like an hour and a half before it took off. It was hot. Like the AC was pumping, but it was hot. Like I don't know. But as soon as we hit the air, then it got cooler or whatever. Then the AC finally started working. But we were sitting there for an hour and a half before we even took off to go from Charlotte to Minneapolis. So at this point, I just want to get home. Like I don't even care. We finally get home through the airport like 12:30, get our bags like, and then get home like 1 a.m. shower, get ready for bed like 1:30 a.m. Like, so I was supposed to be home Thursday night at before midnight, and I got home Sunday morning at like 1 a.m. Craziest travel experience ever, but we made it through. Back to the podcast.
Yeah,
but American Airlines gives you $12 per meal in the airport. They give you a meal voucher for $12.
That's not gonna get you anything in the airport,
especially because the airport
bro got the McDonald's.
Literally Taco Bell combo for the 12.
Damn.
Or the Wendy's combo for the 13. You got to come out of pocket $1.
Oh,
fuck!
That's crazy.
I lose my nickel.
That's crazy.
They gonna have to give a nigga two $12 carbs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Need that 24.
Because they grown ass man.
Yeah,
bro.
Because like I feel like the only like other worst time I feel like for travel was like during COVID, maybe like that little time period in COVID.
Yeah.
Because like I do remember like getting back.
Oh,
from
what
my
you mean
cruise.
like when with the testing, like
the
stopping
whole
people?
the whole like testing, but then like it just becoming like a thing too. Because like I remember like when I got back from my cruise, it was like we ported in Miami, but there were some boats that couldn't come in to land because people had COVID on them. But then once you got to the airport to get back home, then they like just stopped like the out of country travel and like in country travel. Ooh. So there was so many people like stuck in Miami and shit who were like, we can't get back home, da 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 da. Like, and they were like, they won't let us into Canada, they won't let us here, and all that shit. So yeah,
but I get used to.
But I feel like that one is more. Yeah, that one was more like, god damn, like I don't even know how you cover that type of shit. Like
that shit was just a
virus travel.
Hell. Yeah. They were literally like trapping people in countries for weeks on end.
And literally like we had just gotten back like just when they started that, but it was just tragic because there were some people who were just too down bad.
Yeah, I don't think I ever flew during COVID because I literally didn't. I didn't fly during the COVID stuff.
It was the
I just
best
had nowhere
time
to go.
to,
but not out the country.
It
So
was
I ain't have
cheap
to
as
get
hell
tested or
domestic.
Yeah, I don't even think I. Yeah, because I remember I didn't. Yeah, during the time where you had to wear the mask in the airport, I don't think that like I'd never had like a flight plan during that.
That
time.
flight to Kenya was the worst during
mask
COVID.
on?
Oh my god, mask.
What is that,
on.
like 13 hours?
Mask on, bro. That's 18 to like 20 hours.
Crazy,
bro. Mask on. They
the
over
plane
here
the whole
every
time.
single like I didn't really wear it. Like I would just like cover my face and just like with like a blanket and just not wear it. But they were like checking for that shit.
No, they be as on
and then like you had to have like all the vaccines and shit like all on your passport, just ready to go. Like, and people would check you everywhere we freaking went. Like, because we stopped in like Paris, like on the way there, and like they were on ass with all that shit. Once you got to Kenya, they were on ass. Like, you couldn't even go through customs until you showed all that shit. Like, you couldn't get off the plane. It was just nuts. It was nuts.
Said, hold on.
On me, no. And if you didn't have your shit together, it was just weird, bro. People were really doing some mechanisms, and then it only lasted like a certain amount of time because like I had to get another one in Kenya before I left.
Like
a shot.
Like another, just a test. A test.
Yeah, because you have to have the vaccine and a negative test.
Yeah, a negative test for like a certain amount of time or something.
Exactly. Yeah, for like the past 48 hours to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was loose
Because you had to
bro.
get it before you traveled.
Yeah, and people were
Yeah.
tweaking about that shit too, like because every country and state had
Because
different
sometimes
rules
it
and
might,
shit.
the times
Yeah.
might not lay
Yeah,
out.
especially when you're on like a whole day flight, like you might like if you got it a day ago before the day flight, like like that 48 hours is almost already gone.
Yeah.
So then it's like if you're getting into your like layover in the United States, you're like hoping that you just make it there before it's full 48 hours and shit. Yeah, it was loose.
That shit is
That's
trash.
some old shit.
Yeah, definitely some shite.
Yeah, the world's been crazy. Other stuff.